forget you can watch good things. We are on your computer, your mobile device. You can watch us on Roku, Amazon Fire TV devices. You can even find us on YouTube. If you got C Spire TV, we are on channel 70 right next to the Weather Channel, which is just going to tell you it's hot. It's just that hot. And if you're making plans to be at the Mississippi Book Festival this weekend, it's going to be hot. But we got two authors that will be in Author Alley this year. We got Francis and JT. They are the creators of Pocket Grammar, 24 Mistakes You'll Never Make Again. And I think every student in the state of Mississippi needs one of these in their pocket. So welcome, guys and gal.
Thanks you.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, this is pretty cool. This is a unique, so it's not your traditional book, like if you would think grammar book. It is kind of like a resource. It literally is a pocket resource and kind of a guide. So one of you take it. Where did this idea come from and sort of inspiration?
Yeah, so I was connected to a publisher in Quebec and kind of was talking to him about kind of like some ideas for grammar books and for education. And he came and visited me in LA from Quebec. And then right after he visited, JT and my brother came and stayed. And then COVID hit. So we were
COVID. It's like
COVID.
One day we will not hear that,
Exactly.
but it seems like it's, yeah.
Exactly. So we were kind of like stuck in the house. We were just like, there was no sightseeing being done. And so I just showed him kind of like the books, and we started just kind of like spitballing ideas for how we could make it like more fun and interactive.
Well, JT, you're our news director here at SuperTalk for SuperTalk News, and you have been in media for a while, writing articles and such, and I know that was also a passion of yours in school. So the grammar piece, I mean, you must have been like, yes, this is this is needed.
With the pandemic, a lot of innovation came about in this industry and other industries. And nothing irks me more than when I'm reading an article or a book and there's a typo in a freaking novel or news article. Yeah. And it's something from affect to effect to I and me that people mess up. I mess it up sometimes. I try not to. I read the book about it. But everybody messes it up. And so we figured out a way to convey it easily in a vibrant manner to what hopefully people will buy.
What I love, too, though, is that it is so much fun to look at. So who is responsible for the illustrations?
Yeah, I did the illustrations.
Okay. They are so fun. And so I'm thinking, again, I have a middle schooler, and I feel like as she's moving more into independent writing and not, I would say short stories, but very short paragraph style stories, not short stories, this is something good for her to have to sort of look through because, adults you think should being the operative word there. But some things do get tricky, and you kind of do forget if it's been decades since you've had grammar. So how did you guys pick the 24? Like, how did you pick the 24 mistakes in terms of grammar?
It was quite a process.
It was a tough one.
Yeah, there were a lot that we wanted to do. We've thought about doing a sequel, but,
maybe in the future.
Yeah, the 2.0. Annoyance. I would say, like, gauging by just, like, how often, it comes up in our lives.
We probably started with 50 pairs.
Really?
And had to come down.
Because they are pairs. I guess we should say that. I guess maybe there's a few that's 3, but.
So had to come down, and these are the 24 most misused, and the ones we felt people needed the most.
Which I just sent a text to Brian Haydad, who's coming up next with Sports Talk, and it says, just letting you know that football season has started, that it's lose, not loose when you're typing.
Yes.
And it's sort of tempting to do that. I know another one is what there, where it's there is someone's and then they are, which are that way. So how did you try to keep it where it was rememberable? I mean, and Francis, that would come through your wonderful illustrations. What was the process? Because you try to, if people can see, maybe I can hold it up, and can it focus in on it at all? But you act it out, which I think is really helpful because I'm a visual learner, right? And so I can connect things. If I can see it being done, then I'm going to remember it more likely. So how did you sit through and think through the illustrations?
So I kind of thought about, because I'm kind of person that not only needs to see, but also do. Mm-hmm. And so kind of illustrating how the word is used in normal life and finding a way to kind of like make it accessible, if that makes sense.
And there's a bunch of pro tips on here as well at the bottom of each card, which are just memory tricks. We dug back in our memory and thought of what tips do teachers tell us to remember the difference between these. So if you're talking about capital and capital, the capital is Jackson has an A. The The Capitol building, there you go, has an O. And so think of that O as the dome in the Capitol building. That's how you can remember the difference between Capitol and Capitol.
Well,
Exactly.
and that's so helpful for kids too. And we keep talking about students, and I do believe, JT, that I think every Mississippi student needs to get one of these. I think middle school, because they'll keep up with it a little bit more than elementary school. But that anybody who's going into journalism or wants to write or just sort of enjoying, if they're content creators at all, anything to have like that hack to be able to I guess, to refine your skills, because you do forget them. And it shouldn't be something you're embarrassed about. It should be something that you should embrace and try to just figure out.
For sure. And that's another big reason that we did pocket grammar, because there is kind of a lot of like anxiety and stress around making grammatical errors. So, using kind of like the phrase everyone makes mistakes, pocket grammar can help, and kind of normalizing that like the English language is kind of a crazy thing.
And it's every industry, every age group. I had lunch with an attorney yesterday. She said every attorney I know needs affect and effect.
Yes, absolutely, which is number one, or no, not number one. It's one of the number two.
You can scroll on Facebook, probably find a typo right now. That's a great post, but I can't share it because it's a typo, big typo. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Whether you're in fourth grade or as old as all of us, you're going to make a grammar mistake. This is here to help.
I did effect today.
Yeah.
Was like, oh, whoops.
We keep one in the newsroom.
All the time.
There's a pocket grammar all the time in the newsroom that people go to in case, one of these comes up.
I love that.
And but remind too parents as well as I guess students that may be listening how important it is to care about grammar, because I look at it, now I have a kid who is used to, well, she's not texting very much, but minimally, but kids talk in text now. Even adults, sadly, we talk in text now. I read on social media, I'm like, you are typing in text, and and not that shorthand doesn't have its space, but we don't need to lose, when you think about the Mississippi Book Festival, you think about Faulkner, you think about all these others, like, we don't want to lose grammar. Right?
I mean, imagine Faulkner or Welty typing out LMK. Let me know. LOL.
Right. Like, I think, understanding the concepts, too, of the grammar also it's a foundation that builds onto other sort of forms of learning and that as well.
And I think it's also kind of everyone uses the internet for everything nowadays. So like being able to kind of like look at like a book and, like instead of typing it out and learning it once and then forgetting it immediately, like using a more sustainable resource to like actually really get the concept in your mind. And
if you want to be, and this is one of those things that's sad to say, but someone needs to tell you, if you want to be taken seriously, right, in a particular area, and written word is going to be part of how you're going to present yourself, then it's something you want to invest in learning, or at least minimizing the mistakes as much as possible, so that when it does happen, they go, "What? Ooh, that was a fluke,"
right?
Versus they're never going to take you seriously if it's completely, because you do the same thing. You pass judgment on those that you can obviously tell didn't put a lot of proofreading into their work.
It can invalidate something very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If there's a big typo in it.
Okay, so someone texted in, what a clever idea in this. Kids need this all over the state. So how do you get it? I know you come to the book festival.
Yeah, you can come see us tomorrow. We'll be in Authors Alley. You can also go to thepocketgrammar.com. That'll redirect you to our publisher site. If you're an educator out there, the more you buy, the less it goes down in terms of per copy. Right now we have one school.
The more it goes down per copy.
Yeah.
Oh, you got him. No.
So Authors Alley tomorrow on President and Northwest Street between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.
9 a.m. and 5 p.m.
And you can also purchase a pocket grammar and donate to Everytown, and we will give you a free pocket grammar.
Yes.
What's Everytown?
Everytown is an organization. It's made of like victims and like families from like school shootings, just like coming together and kind of like trying to change how often it happens. So yeah, we decided as an educational resource, we have a platform to kind of talk about that. So
I think your next one needs to be math. I feel like there's a lot that we could add. Yeah. Math is hard, and other things, whatever. I don't know, but I think this is awesome. I think you have found a little bit of a niche. Again, parents, don't be shy of getting this for your kid. Just giving them the tools in their tool belt. If you are a homeschool mom, this is great for your group. If you're any kind of educator, I think getting a box of them would be to hand out would be a smart thing to do. Good luck tomorrow. Pack water.
Yes.
And then lots of pens to sign all your pocket grammars. Because that's important too, y'all's good work. All right, well, thank you for your time, but stick with us. We got more for you.